I heard an interesting quote yesterday, a couple kind of quotes that I'm keeping in my mind today. So one is that it was something along the lines of eternal vigilance is the price you pay for freedom. Um, and I think that can be very apt for our trading because a lot of us trade for the sense of financial freedom. And I think we have to stay very vigilant. We have to stay on top of not only our trading plans and on top of our vigilance of our analysis of the market, but really vigilant about ourselves and our own emotions and our own expectations. Um, and then the other quote that I was thinking about today um, really reminds, or it comes from Bruce Lee, and it reminds me a lot of kind of what my current again, reviewing my recordings has caused me to do because I can look at it and say, well, what are the things that I'm doing well? And when I try to do more of those things, sometimes it's just I'm looking for more trades. And it's not always that I need to do more of the things I'm doing well. It's actually I need to do less of the things that I'm messing up. And there's this quote from Bruce Lee that's something about it's not the adding, but the taking away. And hacking away at the unessential is sort of the key. And I'm kind of keeping that in mind. So instead of saying like, oh, these are the trades I do good on, let me find more of these and execute more of these. It's like these are the things I do bad with. And I was thinking about it in the context of when I take losers. So what I've noticed is that when I'm having a losing day, I tend to be very quick to jump into the next trade to make back that loss. When I'm winning, I'm actually slower to jump into the next trade because I want to protect my profits. And so there's two ways of looking at that. I could say, well, on my winning days, I should be less fearful of jumping into the next trade. I should be capitalizing on those winning days. Or maybe a better thing to focus on initially is not to add more trades to my winning days, but to take away the trades from my losing days, to get more cautious on those days that I'm losing and contain those losing days more. I tend to have more winning days than losing days, but my losing days do sometimes get larger than my winning days on average. So um, that's kind of something I'm considering and why I was sort of meditating this morning on, well, what happens if I expect a losing day today? Then what is my goal for how I handle that losing day? And so the goal is not a P&L goal. The goal is not about having a winning day. The goal is how do I handle my losses and how am I going to react? And am I going to stay cautious? Am I going to keep myself from revenge trading and at least contain those losers into a smaller day? So that's sort of where I'm at right now mentally. Um, I also another really interesting thing that I've been thinking about a lot came from that interview that I posted with Dr. Andrew Menaker, and I've since actually listened to a couple more interviews with him. I really like that guy a lot. Um, Glad I stumbled across him. He's got some good interviews with Top Step Trader as well on their YouTube channel. And he said something about, when you go into any other sport or endeavor, um, you start out as a beginner, right? So you like you see if you're going to play tennis, you're going to start out in a beginner class. You're going to play other beginners, or your teacher is going to kind of take it easy on you and allow you to do some beginners type stuff. But trading's not like that. And so the analogy he uses is like imagine if you had to learn tennis, but the only way to learn was from day one, you had to go head to head against Roger Federer with him playing at his best. Because there is no beginner market. There's no beginner sort of access to that stuff. So right away, we're competing against very, very experienced people and computers and algorithms, and there's no way to sort of ease your way in and get success. And so how long would it take you to be successful, even just being able to return a serve from Roger Federer with him playing at his best, if that's how you had to start at day one? And so, kind of keeping that in mind as we're learning trading and as an expectation of sort of what this endeavor really takes from us. I just thought that was a really um, valid analogy and kind of useful. And I think setting those realistic expectations can be so important. Um, that, it's something that I think is worth focusing a little bit of our attention toward, putting a little bit of that mental spotlight on. Um, there's a saying in the futures world. I think it came from Dalton, where he said, trading futures is the hardest way to make easy money. And I think a lot of us got into trading thinking, not necessarily get rich quick, but like, yeah, like why am I going to grind away at my 9 to 5 all day when I can just do this as if it was going to be easy? And maybe some of us, if we knew how hard it was going to be, maybe wouldn't have even had the motivation to start. So those are the things I'm thinking about. We got 4 minutes till the open.